Welcome to Campcraft Hike Survive. I'm Patrick. Today I'm going to practice Bowdrill. It is a comfortable temperature out today, 3 degrees, but we'll manage. I'm going to use a set that I already made. I used it at the intermediate survival class at the Pathfinder school. It works. I know it works. Today is all about practice. So stick around. Let's practice some Bowdrill. Today's just practice. I'm not going to focus on collecting material. There's many different types of wood that you can use for this. So what I'm using is the exact same set that I used at the intermediate survival class at the Pathfinder school that scored me my points for the Bowdrill deliverable. So I have a tulip poplar board, a white pine spindle, a piece of fat wood for my bearing block, and just a regular old stick for my bow. So I'm going to carve a new notch here. I've already got a couple in here that I've used for practice. So I'm going to come over to this side, and I'm only going to go just a little ways off the edge. So I'm going to line up my spindle like so, and then mark where the center of that spindle is touching. And I'm just going to start the notch here, so that way I can get a good burn in. That way the spindle doesn't fly off the board on me. So I'm going to clean up the spindle a little bit, get some of this fire hardened wood off the end. Now here's a good tip. The end of the spindle, you want to carve it, you just kind of want to dig your knife into it and just kind of bow it a little bit. That way it gives you an arch in this top of the spindle so it doesn't shoulder out as bad. Let's try that. Alright, ready to do a burn in. Let me get my bow all tightened up here. So for the bow, you can use any type of stick. I prefer a little bit more of a straight stick. However, whatever works for you. You can have a bowed one. This one's slightly bowed, but it still works quite well. Wrap it. We'll string through and lock it into place. This is just number 36 bank line that I'm using. There's less stretch in this cordage than there is with paracord, so it usually tends to work a little bit better. Now to get your spindle into place, go up inside between the string and your bow with the bottom part facing up, and just use your thumb, click it down into place. Should snap just like that. Now get comfortable. Place your foot onto there. Get everything into place. Then lock your arm to your shin and put some downward pressure. This doesn't have to be fast, we're just burning in the notch. There we go. Alright guys, I got my notch cut. That should be deep enough into there. I chamfered the bottom to give it some airflow. I'm working with this last one right here. So, should be good. Alright, ready to go for the ember. I've got my bird's nest sitting off to the side here on a stump to keep it off the ground. Make sure it doesn't get wet from the snow here. Set up. Oh, almost forgot. Got to carve off, clean up the end of my spindle. I want to carve a new notch in my bearing block. That one I've got in there is getting a little too deep. All right. Let's give her a go, shall we? Alright, got my ember catch underneath here. It's just a piece of wood. It could be anything. It could be a piece of bark. A piece of wood is a little more solid. It kind of gives you a more stable base. Alright. Let's try this. Find where I'm most stable. Oh, gotta make a slight adjustment. Okay, let's go. You want to keep the spindle as upright as you possibly can. Trying to find a comfortable spot here. Okay, that notch is filling up nicely. Let's give her a go. I think I got her. Alright, now I'm going to wait until I see that ember burning cherry red. Okay, now I'm going to take my bird's nest and transfer my ember. So you want to be gentle. Bring the bird's nest to the ember. And just kind of taco it around. Now lightly blow. There it is. Whoop. All right. Trying to burn myself. I'd say that was pretty successful practice. So I carved my notch. It's this furthest one right here. I cut into it probably about a 1/4 inch. And then on the bottom, I carved it up a little bit so that I could make some room for airflow. So that way it helps igniting that ember. So the way you carve the notch is very important. So this one right next to it, I was kind of offset and I didn't go very far into it. So I think when I was using this for practice yesterday, it didn't quite ignite. Like the heat couldn't get to the ember, I don't think, because I did everything the same today except I carved that notch properly and it worked out. So and I just used a grass bundle. It took me a little bit to get it started, but with grass, it has a waxy film to it and it has to burn off first. Welcome back. That was definitely a learning experience. This is my second take doing this. I tried yesterday practicing this bow drill, and I did not get a successful ember. The set felt great. It was going. I was producing good fine dust, but it just would not ignite. So I changed up a few things today after talking to Tony Powers. Got a few tips, and I changed up the way I cut my notch because everything else I was doing was accurate. So by changing that one thing, I was able to succeed. Bow drill is definitely one of them things. It takes practice, takes repetition. This is just the start of my journey. This is pretty new to me. This is a new skill. I've only ever gotten a successful ember 2 other times. Both times were at the Pathfinder School under Tony Powers' instruction. He's a great dude. Check him out on YouTube. Tony Powers Outdoors. I've learned a lot from him over the last 2 years, year and a half. I hope to continue picking up these skills as I go. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys watching my channel, watching my videos. My last video that I did was camping out in the woods in a hot tent, and it got down to -9 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds, putting the wind chill down to -39. It was a very, very cold night, let me tell you. But I survived the night, and I learned what my gear can do. Above all, that's the most important thing, was testing out my gear to see how far I could push it. I learned a few things. I'm going to have to change a few things to that setup, but here we are. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button to get notifications for my videos when they drop. Hit the notification bell and select all notifications. Thank you. We'll see you next time.